The world was watching, but nobody knew the story behind the man standing on that stage. Before the applause, before the powerful words, before millions of people found hope in his voice, there was a journey filled with struggles, doubts, and moments when giving up seemed easier than moving forward. This is the story of a dream that refused to die, a story about believing in yourself when the world tells you that you cannot succeed. In a small community, a young boy named Daniel sat in front of an old television, watching a speech by Barack Obama. The words were not just sounds coming from a screen, they felt like a message meant directly for him. Daniel had grown up facing challenges. His family struggled financially, his dreams seemed too big for his situation, and many people around him believed that success was only possible for those who were born with opportunities. But as Obama spoke about hope, courage, and change, something inside Daniel began to awaken. The speech reminded him that every great journey begins with a single step. Obama talked about how life is not defined by where you start, but by the choices you make and the determination you carry. Those words stayed with Daniel long after the speech ended. That night, he looked at his small room, his old books, and his unfinished dreams, and he made a promise to himself: he would not allow his circumstances to decide his future. The next morning, Daniel woke up with a different mindset. He understood that success would not come instantly. He knew there would be failures, criticism, and difficult days ahead. But he also learned that every successful person had faced moments of uncertainty. Just like Obama's journey from a young man with a vision to becoming the first African American president of the United States, Daniel realized that greatness was built through patience, hard work, and belief. Years passed, and Daniel faced many obstacles. There were times when he studied late at night while others were sleeping. There were moments when people laughed at his ambitions and told him he was dreaming too much. Sometimes he questioned himself and wondered if the struggle was worth it. But whenever he felt like quitting, he remembered the powerful message from that speech: ordinary people can create extraordinary change when they refuse to surrender. Daniel started helping others around him. He shared his knowledge with younger students, encouraged people who had lost hope, and became someone who inspired others. He discovered that success was not only about achieving personal goals, it was also about lifting others while climbing toward your own dreams. One day, many years later, Daniel stood on a stage himself. He looked at the crowd and remembered the young boy who once watched Obama's speech on an old television. He realized that a single message of hope had completely changed the direction of his life. He began his own speech by saying that sometimes the smallest moments can create the biggest transformations. He told the audience that everyone faces struggles, but struggles do not have to become the end of the story. They can become the beginning of something greater. He explained that dreams do not come true because life becomes easy, dreams come true because people become stronger. The message was simple but powerful: believe in yourself, keep moving forward, and never let fear become bigger than your purpose. Every person has a story, every person has challenges, and every person has the ability to create change. As the crowd listened, Daniel smiled because he finally understood the true meaning behind those words he heard years ago. Hope is not just something we wait for. Hope is something we create through our actions, our courage, and our willingness to continue. Even when the road is difficult. The world does not remember people because they had a perfect journey. It remembers people because they kept walking despite the challenges. And sometimes, one inspirational speech, one powerful idea, or one moment of belief can become the spark that changes a person's entire life. The greatest lesson is this: your beginning does not define you. Your struggles do not define you. The courage you show, the dreams you protect, and the positive change you create define who you become.